Russia plans to store tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus, sending a warning to Nato over its military support for Ukraine. The search for missing continues after a deadly tornado kills at least 26 people in the US. Russia will station tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus, President Vladimir Putin has confirmed, sending a warning to NATO over its military support for Ukraine and escalating a standoff with the West. Moscow will complete the construction of a special storage facility for the weapons in the ally country by July. Putin has likened his plans to the US storing weapons in Europe. On the Belarusian border, Ukrainian authorities say there are now about 11,000 Russian troops. The situation in the Donetsk Oblast remains the worst in the country. The Ukrainian military is holding back an offensive by invading Russian forces near Bakhmut, preventing them from advancing. This as 3 Soviet-era helicopters bank and swoop down onto a field, returning from an early morning in the fight against Russia.
Thousands of environmental activists in Western France clashed with police on Saturday during a demonstration against irrigation reservoirs in the rural community of Sainte-Soline. According to French authorities, 28 police officers were injured, 2 of them seriously, and 7 protesters, 3 of whom are in critical condition. Proponents of the reservoir say it's necessary to allow farmers to continue to grow crops, but critics call it a move by agribusiness to monopolise water supply.
Berliners are going to the polls on Sunday to vote on a proposal that could drastically ramp up the German capital's climate goals. The referendum calls for Berlin to become climate neutral by 2030, a deadline that's 15 years ahead of the country's current goal. Polls show a majority of the city's inhabitants favor the earlier date, but the biggest hurdle will be getting the required 25% of the city's eligible voters to back it on a day when no other elections are taking place.
Search efforts continue after a deadly tornado killed at least 26 people in the southern US. The powerful storm ripped across Mississippi and Alabama, tearing off roofs, smashing cars, and leveling entire neighborhoods. President Joe Biden tweeted that he and the First Lady were praying for those who have lost loved ones and those whose loved ones are missing, promising full federal support.
Here people need help, and it was just devastating last night. Pitch black dark, and trying to get everybody out we could get out, and get to a safe location.
We lost everything, but we got our life. Towed the house out, towed the truck out, the car, and the other car. But we good.
As residents come to grips with this devastation, emergency services are now preparing for another round of possible tornadoes Sunday.
Donald Trump held the first rally of his 2024 White House campaign on Saturday at an airfield in Waco, Texas. Facing potential indictment over alleged hush money payments, Trump attacked the prosecutors investigating him.
You will be vindicated and proud, and the thugs and criminals who are corrupting our justice system will be defeated, discredited, and totally disgraced.
Waco is known for the 1993 deadly standoff between the FBI and the Branch Davidian cult. Israel's defense minister is calling on the government to halt legislation on controversial changes to the justice system, saying the bitter dispute over the measures poses an immediate and tangible danger to the security of the state. Yoav Gallant's plea comes 12 weeks into weekly mass protests that have seen more than 500,000 people take to the streets to oppose reforms critics say will undermine the independence of the judiciary and could be used for political ends.